and welcome into the Daily Fantasy Sports Picks and Bet Show. My name is Ethan Kershaw, Daily Fantasy Soccer Analyst, and guess what? Today we're going to be looking at an awesome three-game slate on DraftKings about some MLS Soccer. Before we jump into the video though, be sure to drop a like on this video and also subscribe to Mayo Media Network, where you can get all of your daily fantasy content. Also, be sure to subscribe to Daily Fantasy Sports Picks and Bets the Mix, wherever you get your podcasts from. And then, last but not least, you can head on over to Twitter, follow me at Ethan Kershaw9. I'll help you out with all of your daily fantasy soccer lineups and any questions that you may have. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the video now. This slate is a little interesting. We've got a couple of guys at the very top that I'm really fond of, I'm really looking at this week. And then we've got some other guys that are a little bit cheaper that I'm going to be recommending for you all. And so the cheaper guys are just kind of players to fit into your lineups, so you're able to pay up elsewhere at some of these other positions. But there are a couple guys in this slate that I do feel that you need to have in your lineups to be able to cash. So let's go ahead and start off with one of them. And first is going to be Gustavo Bou at 10.5K, the forward for the New England Revolution. So this week they're going to be playing the Philadelphia Union. It's a pretty tough game, but Philadelphia have allowed 1 goal in 5 of their last 6 games, so they are allowing people to score. Bou has 10 goals in 15 games this year, been very, very consistent. He's averaging 15 fantasy points per game this year, and in a game last week that he ended up not scoring in at all, he had a total of 13 crosses, which gave him a total of 18 fantasy points. That gives me a lot of confidence. Bou isn't a guy who usually crosses the ball a lot, so to see something like that gives him a fantastic floor going forward into this game. I think Bou is the one who actually is going to end up with the goal here in this one and returns fantastic value for you at 10.5K. So I'm getting Bou into my lineups wherever I'm playing. The next guy we're going to be looking at is going to be a slightly cheaper option, is going to be Fabio at 7.1K for the New York Red Bulls. And Fabio is averaging almost 10 fantasy points per game this year, which isn't bad considered his price at 7.1K. He also has 1 goal and 9 shots in the last 2 games. Now, there's not a lot more to say about the guy. He's very straightforward. He gets shots on goal even, plays up top for Red Bulls. Usually playing 90 minutes, sometimes gets subbed out a little early, but I really like Fabio's upside. He's been very active lately, much more active over Patrick Klimala in the last 2 games, and so this is why I prefer Fabio in this one over Klimala. 7.1K, get him into your lineups. The next guy we're going to be looking at is a guy who can absolutely be a game changer, and that's CJ Sapong at 7K for Nashville. So Sapong didn't actually start last game, but before then he had been starting. And in the last 4 games that he started, he has 3 goals and 2 assists while averaging 3 shots. He's a very risky play, but he's got a very high ceiling and a high possibility to return a fantastic reward and value for you. He had 2 games in his last 4 starts where he had 34 and 23 points. We know that they're playing Miami this week, and Miami is one of the worst teams in the league. They allow goals, and I think that Sapong, if he's given the start this week, will have a fantastic chance to get a score this week. Sapong at 7K, I really like him as starting him as your second forward going into this week. Let's go ahead and look at the midfielders now. My favorite midfielder on this slate, which is a guy that I am absolutely getting in my lineups. This is a guy where you need to have him everywhere you're playing, and that's going to be Hani Mukhtar at 10.3K for Nashville. Talked about Miami's struggles, they're allowing goals, and Mukhtar is averaging 17.8 fantasy points per game this year. That's a very, very high number. Also, over the last 5 games, he has 3 goals, 2 assists, and 27 total crosses. Obviously, those crosses result from set pieces, from corners. He is also the team's penalty taker. He has the ability to have 40-point games, as we've seen already this year. I think Hani Mukhtar is in a really good spot to get a goal in this game, return fantastic value for you, be the leading scorer on this slate. So Hani Mukhtar at 10.3K, get him into your lineups. The next guy we're going to be looking at is going to be Daniel Gazdag at 6.4K. I know, quite a drop off from the 10.3K that we were just at. But at 6.4K, Gazdag has been filling in admirably for Jamiro Monteiro in the midfield for the Philadelphia Union. Monteiro has been rumored to be traded lately for the Philadelphia Union, and while those trade rumors have been flowing, he has been sitting out. His fill-in, Gazdag recently, 7 to 27 points over the last 5 games, and in those games he has a total of a goal, 3 assists, 13 shots, and 12 crosses. A guy who really does it all, playing forward more of an attacking midfield position. I really like Gazdag in this one, and he's got a great chance to play 90 minutes as he has been lately. So Gazdag at 6.4K, you've got nothing to lose. I think he's got a really, really nice floor and a very, very good ceiling as well. So 6.4K, get him into your lineups. The next guy that we're going to be looking at, Wikelman Carmona for the New York Red Bulls. This guy's been a starter just as of late, really come onto the scene though. He's been playing at a central attacking midfield position, really getting forward in the attack though. The Red Bulls have really thrown a lot of trust onto him, and he's been playing really well lately. 10 and 15 points in the last 2 games, and he scored in the latter. Also, in the game that he didn't score in, 4 shots and 3 crosses, which tells me that he's very active, getting shots up top, having opportunities to cross the ball into the box. Those are things you really want with your midfielders. And while Wikelman Carmona might not be on set pieces or corners, he does have a fantastic option and ability to be able to return value. They're playing Chicago in this one. Chicago is one of the worst teams as well in the MLS. Offering a lot of opportunity to score goals. I think Carmona can get a goal, maybe even an assist in this one. Fantastic price too at 5.8K, so why not, really? Finally, let's go ahead and look at the defender position. I have some awesome defenders here for you this week. Let's look at Boris Sekulic at 5.9K, who is my favorite defender on this slate. In my mind, he is the cheapest defender of like the top tier fullbacks that you're really going to want to be looking at. And he's got 11 to 19 points over the last 4 games with a total of 2 assists and 24 crosses. Something that you really, really want out of your fullbacks is the ability to cross the ball into the box. He exemplifies that. He's got 2 assists in the last 4 games, so that means that he's getting forward with chances to be able to assist the players that are there to fire the shots into the goal. That being said, Sekulic at 5.9K, he's in my slates wherever I am playing. The next guy I'm going to be looking at, a little bit cheaper, but I still really like his prospects, is going to be Kyle Duncan at 5.1K. And Kyle Duncan for the Red Bulls has been moving forward lately. He started off the season a little slow, a little lackluster on the fantasy point scoring end, but has really come to life. Moving forward farther in the attack, 16 total crosses and an assist over the last 3 games. So that's a little over averaging 5 crosses a game. I think that at 5.1K, not a super extremely expensive price for a fullback, especially one of Duncan's potential. I think that he's a great option to put into your lineup. Probably going to return value, get you somewhere around 10, maybe even 15 points. That's probably about his max for his ceiling. His floor is really good though too. It's right around 6 points. So I think Kyle Duncan's a pretty safe play at 5.1K. Finally, the last position we're going to be looking at is going to be the tricky goalkeeper position. And my favorite goalkeeper on the slate this week is going to be Joe Willis for Nashville at 4.8K. I've talked a lot about some Nashville players on this video today. I really like Nashville in this game, and we'll talk a little bit about them in a second as well. But Joe Willis, 3 of his last 4 starts, he's had a shutout. And in those 4 games, he has a total of 13 saves. Double-digit fantasy points in the last 3 of 4, been very good. I think he's pretty safe. Inter Miami in this one could be looking at a game without Lewis Morgan, one of their top midfielders. And if that is the case, the defense would really only have to worry about Gonzalo Higuain for Inter Miami. He's been scoring a lot, but I think without Lewis Morgan delivering the service in, he's got a great chance to keep a shutout as well. So Joe Willis, 4.8K, not really even that expensive. Go ahead and put him into your lineups, which now leads us to the bets portion of the video. And speaking of Nashville, one of the favorite bets of mine this week is going to be Nashville to beat Inter Miami 2-0 at plus 300. And you can also, if you want to, go for the clean sheet as well at plus 175. Nashville have shut out 3 of their last 4 opponents, like I had mentioned, and Miami has been shut out in 2 of the last 5. Miami being a team that's a little lower in the standings. Obviously, every MLS team has a lot to fight for, but them looking at probably one of the top picks in the MLS Super Draft, I think that they're not going to have a lot of opportunities and chances to be able to get goals in this game, and I think they've got a great chance to be shut out. So that bet is Nashville to beat Inter Miami 2-0 at plus 300 and a team clean sheet for Nashville at plus 175. The second bet that we're looking at as well, also a great one, Red Bulls and Chicago Fire to draw at plus 270 on the money line. Both teams have been drawing quite a bit recently. Both teams have tied 3 of their last 5 games, and so they've got both a great chance to end up with a tie as a result in this game as well. Plus 270 on the money line, not a massive value, but I think that it's enough to be able to make you happy, and I think it's really going to happen. Feeling a draw between these two teams. The 2 games that neither of them tied were actually losses as well. So probably not a lot of scoring, maybe 1-1, even 0-0. Go ahead and place your money on that plus 270 on the draw. All right, that is the end of the video. Quick reminder though to smash the like button and also subscribe to Mayo Media Network. And then don't forget to leave a 5-star review on the podcast. Head on over to Twitter also. Follow me at Ethan Kershaw 9. I really hope you all cast your lineups on Sunday night and that you all have a fantastic week. I'll talk to you all later. Bye.